sing our song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that St. Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
Happy Independence Day, America, and welcome back to the program, folks. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania on July 4th, 2024, the 248th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence from the British Empire, whom we told to futsek, piss off, be gone, on July 4th, 1776, in a declaration of the Second Continental Congress. Let me see who's in the chat here. Teresa, thank you for your greetings. Pierre Orban, dropping a bucket. Allison Johnson, Val Cooper, Monterey Seabritz. Smee again is back again. Garrett is here. Ants, thank you for your kind words. Hakan Engman is back. Good to see you. Scientist says, do Americans watch Independence Day on Independence Day? Probably not. A lot of people having brides and barbecues on this lovely day. Please stick news, reporting analysis, says Smee. Oh, no, you will not get that. So, Janet Liddy, welcome in from South Carolina. Shawnee's having a grilling going on there on the 4th of July. Jefferson and Annis both died. Yes, they did. They both died on Independence Day, 1826. Amazing coincidence that was. Must be a truly memorable day for so many. Debbie says, must be a truly memorable day for so many. So good to pay respect for those who fought and did so much. I'm sure they can say thank you. Yep, no doubt about that. Ernst, good evening to you. Ronell, hello. Hakan Amen. We've missed you giving us the time updates, Hakan. You've been missing in action. Not sure how your schedule's been busy and what's been going on. But welcome back to the program, folks. Boy, there's a lot going on. It's the 4th of July here in the States, so the evening will be punctuated, interrupted throughout the evening with fireworks around the country. Hopefully nothing gets caught on fire, burns, particularly in California, where things are apparently pretty dry at this stage. Coldest part of winter is here, but summer is coming, says Brian Lawrenson. Well, we're at the early stages of summer here in the United States in the Northern Hemisphere. But hey, summer is here. Kids are out of school. Vacations are underway and people traveling all over. Debbie says, really appreciate it. Well, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. I posted one of my comments on LinkedIn, a professional website, and two asswipe, slimebags, scumbag leftists made idiotic comments and disrespectful comments yesterday, which I don't tolerate that. I'm too old to tolerate people's bullshit and their nonsense. They're juvenile. You're going to sit here and call me names. You're going to get slammed back. I don't intentionally target people, and I didn't do it in my commentary, and the little jerk-offs just couldn't stand anything that pointed out that the outgoing Minister of Agriculture had no experience when she took in over that post, had been a deputy in the past, and no one complained about her. When Steenhuisen becomes Minister of Agriculture, suddenly it's a problem because he has no experience and he has just a high school diploma. You know, it's that sort of, oh, stop it, Windows. It's that sort of elitism that's what's wrong with the world. Elitism. People think they're better than others because they have degrees. I have multiple degrees. I have multiple graduate degrees. I have undergraduate degrees. It doesn't make me smarter, better, or anything. It just means I have the discipline to sit down and complete a program. That's all it means. And, you know, these people that run their mouths about, you know, matriculants like John Steenhuisen not having a university degree, none of these shitheads actually have accomplished anything. Show me your published academic record. You know, it's funny. It's people who are actually accomplished as academics that usually aren't the ones that are making these juvenile comments. It's the idiots who've never done anything except go to university and graduate. They're not published authors. They haven't published articles. They've done no scientific research papers. They've developed no medical breakthroughs. They've made no genius decisions in business. They're usually leeches that sit in government positions or sit on corporate boards for DEI or something like that. Aaron says, happy Independence Day. Thank you for that. John Huchin in from Arizona. Hello to you. Debbie says, please hit the like button. Please do it, folks. 62 people here. I noticed the trending down in the audience the past few days. So we're getting shadow banned again in YouTube, or is it just coincidence? Maybe it's because today I put America's Independence Day, but yesterday was also a slow day. Can't find the salute emoji. That's okay, Charles. It should be there. Oh, that's for members. The salute emoji is for members. You have to be a paying member to use that. Yeah, so speaking of which, I'm going to go finally monetize the original channel and see if that makes a difference. YouTube, I'm hiding my channel. People ask me, it's monetized for ads, but it doesn't have membership and super chats. I'm going to bring that back on the original channel, so if people want to do it. There's no button, Chris. You got, you got to go to the emojis, Chris. Yeah, you have membership, yeah. Anyway, so it's just juvenile. Speaking of juvenile, we're going to talk today about Helen Zilla's comments about, she said, we're not going to let ourselves be thrown to the dogs. And the race merchants and the grievance merchants are already out in full force claiming it was a racist comment. What a crock of horse manure. What a crock of horse manure. It's a phrase, an idiom that has been in the English language since the year 1622. Last time I checked, there weren't any whiteys in South Africa in 1622. Not a single whitey. So calling it a racist statement by a Jewish woman is just ridiculous to say the very least. This is grievance culture. These people need to start to suffer the consequences of their malicious attacks and their shameful conduct. This is hate speech on their part. If such a thing as hate speech ever existed, this is it, attacking someone for using an English idiom. It's ridiculous, anyway. All right, let's get to the news. We got lots of news to talk about on our Independence Day. Bad news for South Africa once again as Total Energies pulls out of its promising natural gas project. Another example of things going to crap in South Africa. It's unfortunate for South Africa, but this is the latest bad news. Ms. Pumbaa's membership, thank you for that. Thank you, Ms. Pullman. Thank you for using your membership chat for that. Thank you. As far as idioms go, what do you expect in education system with grade 40? Exactly, Ernst. I agree with you. Honestly, if the shoe fits, then wear it. Why are people so sensitive? Exactly. Yep. It is getting very tiring. By the way, folks, my saga with new tires on my car continues. So the original nuts, which are not lug nuts that you screw on, these are the long ones that go all the way in because it's a high-end, it's a mid-range car, but high-end for the mid-range that I bought 9 years ago. They're capped. They're chrome caps, and then, so they swell. They're not made of one material, and so they can swell over time, and apparently they swelled. Last year, no problem at the local place where they inspect it because they rotated the tires. They were able to get them all fine, but apparently they have a full range of different socket sizes, but the car insulation place didn't have them, and so the guy was stripping the nuts. He couldn't get them off, so I had to bring that back. I was wasting my afternoon on Wednesday. Or was it Wednesday? Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I came back to the car place that inspects my car, and they took care of it, but had to order the chrome ones, 16 of them. There's 20 lug nuts, but 4 of them, of course, are security lug nuts, so they can't easily be stolen by thieves. They can do it, but just it isn't quick. So those 16 lug nuts cost me $160, like $9 a piece, $10 a piece. And then on top of that, sales tax, and then I had to pay $129 labor. $129 labor, folks. Ooh, that is 2,600 Rand to have the lug nuts removed, or have the lugs removed, and then new ones put on. That sucked. So then I went back to the car place, or the tire place, to try to get the tires put on yesterday, and he tried to fit me in. I had to wait 45 minutes, and he couldn't do it, so I'm going Sunday. May the 4th be with you, says Myra. Haha, I got your Star Wars joke. It's a dad joke. Yes, they confuse idioms with idiots, yeah. Total Energies pulling out of South Africa, folks. Excuse me. Yeah. So, folks, I just share this, but it's a personal thing, but it's not to bother anybody, but just to share with you. So I was a little busy yesterday with events while all this was going on. A family member suffered a heart attack yesterday. Unfortunately, he is recovering and doing well, but only 54 years of age. It's a very frightening prospect. Not the first time this situation's happened. So thoughts and prayers to the family member. And that's extent of it. I won't discuss it any more than that, just to let you know that dealing with that sort of situation as well, and hoping that all comes right. So there you have it. Anyway, back to Total Energies. They're pulling out of the South African market, and that's bad news for South Africa. French oil major Total Energies has notified South Africa's petroleum regulator that it intends to withdraw from its 11 Bravo, 12 Bravo offshore gas field, but it hasn't submitted a formal request to do that. My goodness. Wow. They discovered the first of two large, mainly natural gas fields in Block 11B and 12B offshore in southern coast in 2019. And the withdrawal is a major setback for South Africa, which is banking on gas potentially supplying an idle natural gas liquid to gas to liquid refinery that sits in Mossel Bay. So that's not going to happen. Why is Chris Ehlers laughing? The government of provincial unity under Premier Panyaza Lusifi announced its new executive yesterday, and it included 4 parties. Among the 4 parties was, of course, the ANC, which had just 34% of the vote. Then Rise Mzansi with 0.98%, the Inkatha Freedom Party with 0.87%, and the Patriotic Alliance with 2.03%, for a grand total of 38.64% of the vote in the province. Wow. Wow. That is shocking, to say the least. This government is a government that will not last very long. In opposition is the MK Party with its 8 seats, the EFF with 11 seats, and the Democratic Alliance with its 22 seats, in total of 41 seats, a majority sits in opposition. So don't expect this to last long. And if you live in Gauteng, I feel for you. Things are going badly there. According to demographics, 400,000 white South Africans have fled that province since the last election. Wow, 400,000 white South Africans no longer live in Gauteng who once lived there. Their percentage of the population has dropped from 15 to just 10% of the population in the time frame. Wow, that is an indictment on what's going on. Meanwhile, South Africa's black population in Gauteng has surged from 9 to 12 million people in that province. Oh, all the energy is leaving the country. Gotcha, Chris. I was trying to understand what you're laughing about. Yep, all the energy is leaving. Yep. So, this cabinet, which does not include the Democratic Alliance, now has its first casualty, and that first casualty is none other than Refiloe Nsheka, the deputy speaker for the Gauteng provincial legislature. The DA says she is leaving the government. She will announce her resignation soon. Democratic Alliance in Gauteng says a provincial legislative member, Refiloe Nsheka, recently elected as new deputy speaker of the Gauteng legislature, will be quitting after negotiations with ANC to form government were deadlocked. He said the DA is not going this for the sake of adding numbers and just wanting positions. We did this to make a difference, and since we have no influence, she's going to resign. Well, Kumbutsu Natshiveni is saying that voters are to blame for Cyril Ramaphosa's expansion of cabinet. Oh, dear God. Cyril Ramaphosa's expansion of the government is the fault of voters. Yes, that's right. Kumbutsu Nshiveni, not one of the sharpest tools in the woodshed, says that it's your fault. Minister in the presidency, Kumbutsu Nshiveni says that, hey, it's up to you. If government work has to be done, work has to be done. The electorate chose an outcome that landed us in the government of national union. There is need for inclusivity. So the electorate will also have to accept responsibility for what they gave us. No, you lying sack of horse manure, in Shivani. No, Cyril Ramaphosa is 100% responsible for this, trying to dilute the influence of the Democratic Alliance and his fake government of national unity, a lame coalition of 11 parties in which 7 got cabinet positions. What should have happened here is it should have been a coalition between the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, and the Inkatha Freedom Party, done and dusted, nobody else, and then it should have simply been divided up with the IFP getting 2 seats, the DA getting 10, and the ANC getting the rest. But no, that's not how it works. So this brain-dead individual is blaming you, the voter, for not giving her party a majority. The ANC is arrogant. It cannot accept that it has lost. It cannot accept that it is no longer the majority party. It cannot relinquish control. These communist terrorists who stole freedom from South Africans over the past 30 years just can't let go. It's really sad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will do a video on this. I've just been very busy recording other videos this morning and getting ready for this stream. But so it's interesting. Perhaps the most effective, efficient, and economical part of the justice system in South Africa may very well be South Africa's electoral court, which is crazy. Why do you have an electoral court? That's just a silly thing, but they have one in South Africa. Apparently, it's the only court that actually can reach decisions, can actually prosecute criminals, can actually make decisions in a timely fashion. As now, despite the fact that the armed insurrection internally to the African National Congress occurred in July of 2021, we have yet to see any significant cases come out of that, or prosecutions or convictions. We have not seen any movement in the Brendan Horder murder. We have not seen any movement in a whole host of other murders, and some murders where we actually have movement, we've seen nothing coming from it. Folks, perhaps the electoral court may be the fastest venue in South Africa's inefficient and inept judicial system, and that might be a fair conclusion after witnessing the alacrity with which the court moves in recent months, certainly compared to the glacial or non-existent pace its criminal courts seem to move in prosecuting miscreants. Yep, we're still waiting for the results of that. Isn't it strange? The ANC, when it fears for its own survival, can suddenly grease the wheels of justice to get convictions. And I'm talking about Zuma loyalist Reddy and Kanyile, who've been convicted by the electoral court today. We're going to talk about that in a second. But when anyone else in South Africa is threatened, nothing ever seems to happen. For instance, who has been prosecuted for the domestic terror, torture, and murder of Brendan Horder? What about the brutal panga slaying of Edward Neumeister in KwaZulu-Natal in 2020? Zakia Ahmedjan Ismail, a 26-year-old pregnant woman, had her throat slit in the bathroom of the farmhouse of the Ayub farm in Veenen. She was 4 months pregnant and the mother of 2 children, 4 and 8, who were in the other room when they murdered her. And what of justice for the Brown family in the Northern Cape? Here we are 4 years after the brutal, senseless murders of 83-year-old Dani and his 73-year-old wife Bregi, as well as the 54-year-old daughter Elzabe, who was visiting her elderly parents. The accused were caught within hours of the brutal crime, and 4 years later, we still don't have convictions. However, the electoral court in Bloemfontein has fined Firebrand MK party leaders Vishvin Reddy and Bonginkosi Kanyile 150,000 rand each, or $7,900, and wholly suspended them for 5 years for insightful comments made during the lead up to the 2024 general elections. So their political hyperbole got them a conviction, yet we have no resolution for all these other murders that, of course, are of no interest to the ANC. But when MK threatened ANC's existence, they can grease the wheels of justice, and suddenly we can get things done. Now, I'm not complaining about the charges or conviction of these 2 MK lunatics. They deserve the convictions they got for trying to incite public violence. In fact, it should have been worse, in my view. Should be criminal convictions, felony for what they did. But, you know, the ANC only cares about protecting itself, not South Africans. So we're moving on from there. Many people are defending the comments that Helen Zille made, with good reason. The idiom that she used, not going to let ourselves be thrown to the dogs, is not a racial trope. It is an idiom, and that's as simple as that. People need to grow up and stop being juvenile, little whiny biatches when they misrepresent what is said, intentionally trying to bifurcate and divide society. DA Federal Council Chairman Helen Zille's statement that the government of national unity will not allow KZN to be thrown to the dogs, apparently referring to the opposition party MK and EFF, has caused a stir, as some took the statement literally rather than figuratively. Well, she wasn't, in my view, referring to MK or the EFF. That's just utter nonsense. And so once again, so are your parties comprised entirely of just black people? Number one, that's the first problem. Number two, why do you assume that being thrown to the dogs is being thrown with them? They're being thrown aside, cast aside like an outcast. That's what it means. Stop being children. Grow up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Gate McKenzie is going from success to success to success. Gate McKenzie, leader of the Patriotic Alliance, tired of being called a convicted felon, which he is. Gate McKenzie's been making a lot of jokes during his swearing in about his former status as a felon, as a criminal, and soaking up the joy. And now, in a brilliant move of his part, he did something a la Donald Trump. He's donated his entire salary to charity. Yep, Donald Trump did that. Of course, that was ignored by the media. Gate McKenzie, at least they reported this story. McKenzie pledges his entire $2.6 million annual salary to the Jocelyn Smith Foundation. Of course, that's the little girl who was disappeared in the Western Cape. The newly elected sports minister, Gate McKenzie, announced that he will donate 100% of his parliamentary salary to the Jocelyn Smith Foundation for missing children. He's set to earn $2.68 million from the ministerial position and will occupy that for 5 years. Had he remained just a member of parliament, his salary would have been $1.27 million. Gabe McKenzie says he's not in it for the money. His goal to change people's lives. 100% of my salary I'm giving to the Jocelyn Smith Foundation for Missing Children for the duration of my stay in Parliament. 100% of my salary, not 80, not 50%, but because I'm not here for the money, I'm here to change the lives of people. Well, there you go. He also said he would be putting 1 million rand reward for the safe return of 6-year-old missing Saldana Bay girl, Jocelyn Smith, whom hope is fading for her. Well done. Whatever you think of Gabe McKenzie, like Donald Trump, they put their money where their mouth is. And so you got to give the guy credit for that. Right. I'm focusing on the just energy transition, says Dion George, the new minister for environment. The DA reveals its leftist colors right out of the gate already into the climate zealotry, the climate religion, the climate faith. It's already happening here, folks. It's already happening. Dion George says one key focus area for South Africa's newly appointed minister will be the just energy transition. He says it's a very large portfolio with a very significant and important portfolio in our economy. What I'm going to do in the very first instance is to wrap my head around all the key issues in the portfolio. I come from finance and was in the finance committee for a very long time. In this portfolio, the big issue is the just energy transition and energy financing, and I think that I can bring my expertise into that. So specifically focusing on developing the financial models, able to accelerate the movement towards a just energy transition. Yeah, the only energy transition that's just is when leftists shut their mouths and take their religion of climate elsewhere. We don't really care for it. There's no just energy transition. It's all just a scam. That's what it is, a scam. Yep. MK Party's leader in Parliament, the disgraced, impeached John Schlope, has been nominated to the Judicial Services Commission. That's like putting pedos in charge of kindergarten creches. Seriously? Wow. Wow. The same Judicial Service Commission which found him guilty of gross misconduct, he'll now be a member of. Will he pardon himself? MK caucus leader in Parliament, Dr. John Schlope, has been nominated to serve on the Judicial Service Commission. He was impeached 4 months ago after 20 years of delay. He said, in an interview on SABC, he said that he was nominated, would serve. He said, we haven't met, and it would be premature of me to make that suggestion. I have the expertise. I've been a judge in the country for 29 years, so I know the system in and out. But if there are people who are suitably qualified or willing to go, they will be deployed. Others nominated include Soviet Lekanyane of the ANC, Faisha Hassan of the ANC, Glenis Breitenbach of the Democratic Alliance, Julius Malema of the EFF, and Athol Trollop of Action SA, Judicial Services Commission. Yeah. Well, folks, the assassination of folks in Heidelberg has got the community up in arms. The policing forum chair was critically wounded and his colleague was killed in a hit. Flip Minar, the chairperson of the Heidelberg Community Policing Forum, and his colleague Etienne Duprier were shot after a strategic meeting at a local restaurant yesterday. Duprier died from the injuries while Minar was critically injured but survived. Both shot in the head. The violent incident occurred when the suspect on a motorcycle pulled up alongside as they left the restaurant and shot them both and fled the scene. Wow. Unbelievable. The just wanton violence in South Africa. Folks, what's happening in Kenya is bat crap crazy. Ruto caved to the violent demands of demonstrators, and now he's paying price for it. Yeah, William Ruto, these are scenes coming out of Kenya, chaos in Kenya, as the government has no control over what's going on, and anarchy is ruling in parts of the capital of Nairobi at this hour. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just Donald Trump who strikes back at the Chinese with tariffs. It's not just the Germans who strike back at the crooked, underhanded tactics of the Chinese communists in stealing market share from folks. Now Indonesia is applying a 200% tariff on Chinese imports. Wow. An influx of Chinese-made garbage has hurt Indonesia's textile industry as companies struggle with layoffs and revenue loss. Indonesia is planning to impose a 200% tariffs on Chinese-made products as it seeks to protect its domestic manufacturing industry against dumping practices triggered by Western nations' trade wars with Beijing. What, excuse me? The South China Morning Post, trade wars? This is not a consequence of our trade war. They've been dumping their garbage in South Africa, in Europe, in the United States for decades, ever since the moron Bill Clinton actually endorsed the CHICOM's entry into the World Trade Organization, and they violated the rules ever since day one. This is not a consequence of us. This is a consequence, ladies and gentlemen, of China doing this to everyone. So don't blame the West for this. Excuse me just a moment. I have to deal with something in the chat. All right, taken care of. Yep, I'm going to add that word to the dictionary. Russia says it will deal with Finland granting access to the United States for military bases. I warned you. Russia will respond to Finland's decision to grant the United States access to its military bases. I can only confirm that Russia will not leave unanswered the NATO military buildup on our border, which threatens the security of the Russian Federation. We'll also take the necessary measures, including of a military technical nature, to counter aggressive decisions by Finland. The Finnish parliament on Monday approved a defense cooperation agreement with the United States that was signed in December of 2023. It opens up 15 Finnish military bases for potential U.S. use and a bilateral agreement, not a NATO agreement. In Ukraine, Ukrainian sites are claiming that Russian brigades are getting decimated. One of the Russian brigades in Zaporizhia lost 95% of its personnel during an assault. Wow. In the Zaporizhia Axis 38th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade of the state of Russia suffered 95% personnel losses, according to this unconfirmed report. Wow. My goodness. 98%. 95%, excuse me. The Ukrainian news agency reported that Russian personnel losses on June 26 were 1,260 casualties, for a total of 530,000 Russian casualties to date. I question the authenticity of that information. We have no independent verification of it. Germany is vetoing the sale of a sensitive turbine unit to a China group. Blocking MAN Energy's proposed deal reflects Berlin's more security-conscious relations with the CHICOMs. The veto on the sale of MAN Energy Solutions unit comes as Berlin tries to chart a more security-conscious path in its relations with the communist, its largest trading partner, despite mounting concerns with the competitiveness of the German economy and its flagging exports. When in the world did China become Germany's biggest trading partner? That's insane. Insane. Well, the leftists are bat crap crazy that people in the political center or right will win the elections in France. The Guardian, the leftist rag, has said, will France fall to the far right? After Marine Le Pen's national rally inflicted a humiliating defeat on Emmanuel Macron's centrist in the European elections. They're not centrist, they're leftist. The president called a snap election. The decision was a gamble, giving voters an ultimatum to back him or to accept the consequences of a far-right victory. After the first round of voting, his roll of the dice does not seem to have paid off. The idea of the right winning is terrifying many of France's minority communities. Why are minority communities voting? They're not French. They're not French. They shouldn't be voting. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, voters go to the polls today to decide the fate of the feckless, useless, faux conservative, disgrace to the memory of Margaret Thatcher conservative Tory party. Yep. And they're deciding today who is going to be the next government in the UK. Will it be Labour under Keir Starmer? That's not a very German sounding or English sounding name now. Is it Keir Starmer? Yep. So British voters are heading to the polls today for crucial general elections being seen as a referendum on 14 years of failed conservative rule. The snap vote called by Rishi Sunak was a big gamble. It's months earlier than necessary and caught many of his party by surprise. The vote allows a 6-week campaign in which all major parties have scoured the country in search of votes. But this is a mess. There he is. There's the man who hides his wealth in the Channel Islands where it's not taxed, along with his South Asian origin wife, Ashkata Murti. And Dark Dreams, thank you for subscribing. Nigel Farage, one of the most prominent champions of Brexit, announced his return to frontline politics to lead the nascent hard-right Reform UK party. 46.5 million people in Britain are eligible to vote. They're casting their ballots. And that says Britons, but they're not Britons because they let foreign nationals vote in the United Kingdom elections. So those aren't Britons. Biden tells Democrats that he saw a doctor after the debate. I can imagine he sees a doctor every night. Yeah, let me say this as clearly as I possibly can, as simply and straightforward as I can. I am running, says Joe Biden, the defiant lunatic. Joe Biden told Democratic governors on Wednesday that he'd been cleared by a doctor after last week's debate, contradicting earlier statements from the White House about his medical care. Wow. So Biden met with the governors, and he's sticking to the course. But other folks are not happy, folks. Not at all. Hurricane Beryl is had a big impact on Jamaica, and islands are lying in ruin. The storm devastated communities in the Eastern Caribbean earlier in the week, and it's headed for the Caymans next, which have already been battered by many storms. Why do people live in the path of these storms? Unbelievable. Jamaica is still being hammered by strong winds and heavy rain early today as Hurricane Beryl passed its southern coast, claiming at least one life. Beryl, which is downgraded after midnight to a Category 3 storm, has killed at least 8 people in total. Virtually every building on the islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique in Grenada, where the storm made landfall, lay in ruins. With marinas and a hospital destroyed, rooftops torn away, and tree trunks snapped like matchsticks across the drenched earth. We have to rebuild from the ground up, said Dickton Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada. Shame. Well, something needs to happen. Democratic voters about replacing Joe Biden. They've had their fill, folks. In the days since President Joe Biden's widely criticized debate performance, Democrats across the country have begun to question whether he is the best candidate for the party. It took that debate for you to question whether Joe Biden is the best candidate. What is wrong with you people? You don't deserve the right to vote if you're that stupid. It took that debate for Democrats. Seriously, unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Wow. As I said, Hurricane Beryl is moving through the Caribbean, and as it speeds past the Caymans, now it's gone past the Caymans, it's headed for the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. Well, that's good news for America. It'll avoid much of the country, although it looks like it's eventually going to make landfall in Texas, but by then it ought to be down to Category 2 storm. Well, another House Democrat is calling for Joe Biden to step aside. People looking for attention to be famous, kind of like that Secretary of State in Maine. Anybody remember her? The one who said Donald Trump could be on the ballot and she was overruled by the Supreme Court. Yep. Representative Paul Gravava, a Democrat of Arizona, is seen at the Longworth House in Capitol Hill. Excuse me. It became the second Democrat in Congress call on Joe Biden to drop out of the race. If he's the candidate, I'm going to support him. But I think that this is an opportunity to look elsewhere. He joins Lloyd Doggett of Texas in calling for Biden to step away. Now, these are just members of the House of Representatives. They don't reflect any power in the party. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Democrats are beginning to consider the frightening prospect that Kamala Harris will be the top of their ticket. Wow. As President Biden continues to face questions about whether he should end his bid to seek a second term, there are growing signs that many in the Democratic Party are willing to accept the notion, the idiotic, crazy, nonsensical notion that Kamala Harris should be the name on the ticket. Wow. That's crazy. I'll tell you what, Kamala Harris will be destroyed in election. Now, we got fake polls telling us that Kamala Harris has 45% against Donald Trump. We know that that's nonsense, pure nonsense. Yes, Biden is an Irish name, supposedly. Columbia University administrators are rabid anti-Semites, and they come from all ethnicities, including Asian hate-wanking anti-Semites. This revealing from messages showing the disdain for Jews on campus by these scumbags at Columbia University. Photos of text messages sent during panel captured by attendee provide a glimpse in the administration's attitude toward the plight of Jewish students. Notice there's a white woman, an Asian woman, an Arab man, and a white man. Equal opportunity anti-Semites. On Friday, May 31st, alumni descended on Columbia University's Manhattan campus to celebrate their class reunions. One of the panels focused on Jewish life on campus was particularly newsworthy. Student protesters broke into and occupied the university building during the academic year, had reconstituted themselves to disrupt reunion festivities. And as the protesters were preparing to erect new encampment, the university held a panel discussion about past, present, and the future of Jewish life on Columbia. The event featured former Dean of Columbia Law School, David Scherzer, who co-chaired the university's task force on anti-Semitism, the executive director of Columbia's Kraft Center for Jewish Life, Brian Cohen, school's dean of religious life, Ian Rottenberg, and a rising Columbia junior, Rebecca Mazel, who covered the campus protest for the newspaper. In the audience, according to the two attendees, were several top members of the Columbia administration. Given the sensitivity of the subject, the eruption of anti-Semitism campus in the wake of the Hamas terror attack, Columbia recently settled a lawsuit with a Jewish student who accused the school of fostering an unsafe learning environment. The administrators included Joseph Soret, the dean of Columbia College, Susan Chang Kim, the vice dean and chief administrative officer for Columbia College, Christian Krom, a dean of undergraduate student life, and Matthew Pashnik, a associate dean. Throughout the panel, which unfolded for nearly 2 hours, Chang Kim was on her phone texting her colleagues about the proceedings, and they were replying to her in turn. As the panelists offered frank appraisals of the climate Jewish students face, Columbia top officials responded with mockery and vitriol, dismissing claims of anti-Semitism and suggesting, in Pashanik's words, that Jewish figures on campus were exploiting the moment for fundraising potential. This is difficult to listen to, but I'm trying to keep an open mind to learn about this point of view, said Chang Kim, the Asian anti-Semite. The text messages, which were captured by an audience member sitting behind her, photographed the vice dean tapping on her phone, also used vomit emojis to describe an op-ed about anti-Semitism by the Columbia's campus rabbi. Chang Kim's messages and those of her colleagues were clearly visible in the photographs. The Washington Free Beacon verified the authenticity of photographs of the person who took them. The text messages betray an attitude of ignorance and indifference toward the concerns of Jewish students on a campus where protesters have called to burn Tel Aviv to the ground and said that Zionists don't deserve to live. Surratt, Chang Kim, Crom, and Pashnik did not respond to requests for comment. The anti-Semites don't want to be exposed. There you go. Did we really have students being kicked out of clubs for being Jewish? Anyway, so, yep. At one point, Crom used a pair of vomit emojis to refer to an op-ed penned by the campus rabbi. Wow. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable. Wow. So, Jew haters at Columbia, a school known for its Jewish graduates. Unbelievable. But hey, that's the world we live in. You can hate Jews, you can hate white people, you can hate Christians, and you get away with it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the wife of a wealthy couple from New Zealand was brutally murdered in broad daylight in an upscale shopping center in California, the land of criminals, alien invaders. Yep, the CEO's wife, 65, murdered in front of her husband by robbers at upscale California mall, and it's revealed that the woke Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon gave probation to one of the offenders. A New Zealand woman who was killed in front of her husband, horrified, in an upscale mall. Patricia McKay, 68, and her husband Doug were at the Fashion Island Mall in Newport Beach, where they were approached by two men. A struggle ensued, one of the men fleeing unseen and firing several rounds with a handgun as he did so. Miss McKay was then dragged into the parking lot as the two men got into a car. As the suspects made their escape, they ran over her with the car and continued firing shots as they led police on a high-speed chase. Here is the victim, 68 years of age, a New Zealander. And there's the upscale mall where this happened. Broad daylight. The McKay family said in the statement, no words can express their sadness as we come to terms with the loss of her mother, wife, and friend, Patricia. McKay and her husband lived in Auckland, and her neighbors telling the New Zealand Herald that they were shocked by her passing. So here are the suspects. As they made their escape, they ran over her and continued firing shots as they fled to police on a high-speed chase. All three were booked. Suspect's car reached speeds of 110 miles per hour in a chase on the 105 freeway. Two jumped out of the car and began running around the neighborhood in Southgate. Police found one of the men hiding behind trash cans, and they also tracked down and arrested two other suspects. Newport Beach police officials identified the suspects as Jaden Cunningham, 18, black of Lancaster, Malachi Edward Darnell, 18, black of Los Angeles, and Leroy Joseph McCrary, 26, black of Compton. According to the Los Angeles Times, McCrary has a history of crimes in Los Angeles County. He was arrested in October 2022 with a narcotics addict in possession of a firearm. He pled no contest to the felony charge a year after and was charged to a robbery case in 2023 and again pleaded no contest. He received a concurrent sentence for both convictions and got 2 years of probation and 3 years in state prison, with the sentence being suspended. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon, that scumbag on the film right there on the screen, is a progressive lunatic prosecutor, has been vocal about his belief that the criminal justice system needs to focus more on intervention and rehabilitation. Wow. Mayor Will O'Neill said he was furious after hearing news of the attack. I'm horrified. I'm mourning the loss of someone who died inside our city because of this crime. Newport Beach is a safe community, and we're mourning the loss of someone. No, it's not a safe community. You live in California, the land of thugs and murderers who get away with everything. Folks, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, he received $30,000 in separation pay from the United States military back in the 1990s when they had to shrink the size of the military from 1.8 million, 1.7 million to 1.4 million. So the Army gave what was known as VSI and SSB, voluntary separation packages. You took the money. But a little-known federal law does not allow veterans to receive VA benefits if they have gotten a separation. I don't know why this law exists. It's nonsense. But now they're impoverishing veterans by claiming money. Federal laws force thousands of disabled veterans to return the separation incentives they received, throwing many into sudden hardship. Vernon Reffitt got $30,000 to leave the Army in 1992. It was a one-time lump sum special separation benefit offered to service members when the U.S. had to reduce its active duty force. And also, they had to pay taxes on the money. So let's keep that in mind. Now, 30 years later, the federal government wants the money back. In May, the Department of Veterans Affairs began withholding his monthly disability compensation payments that he'd been receiving for 3 decades until he repays $30,000. It would take him 15 years to do so, the 62-year-old says. He said, that's wrong. You can't just up and take it back. Well, they can. Thousands have found themselves in Reffitt's position due to little-known law that prohibits veterans from receiving both disability and special separation pay. Under the law, the Veterans Administration has to recoup special separations benefits from veterans before those eligible can begin receiving disability payments. The law has forced 79,000 veterans to repay different types of separation benefits between 2013 and 2020, while Congress ignores their plight. Yep. In 2023 alone, the VA recouped separation pay from 9,300 veterans. In the VA's case, in Reffitt's case, the VA erroneously allowed him to receive both benefits without penalty for more than 30 years. They shouldn't be allowed to take this money back. Unbelievable. Certain types of separation packages were offered to active duty members to get rid of them in the early 1990s, including SSB, Special Separation Benefit, and VSI, Voluntary Separation Initiative. When veterans apply for disability, the VA said the form that they use states that separation pay may be recouped, but it's too late by then. Veterans have already received the separation pay, and they don't know that they won't be eligible for veterans' disability payments. Shocking. Shocking. Army veteran Daphne Young said she would not have taken the separation pay had she known that would keep her from getting disability pay. The 36-year-old lives in Columbus, Georgia, and she didn't need the $15,000 they gave her when she got out in 2016, but she used that time and lived off that money to go volunteer for the Red Cross for several months, 8 months. Shock came this April, just a couple months ago, when the VA notified her they would begin withholding her monthly untaxed disability payment of $3,700 until they get all that money back. Wow. So she's now fully disabled and does not work, and this is her entire source of income, and she's going to suffer bizarrely, horribly because of these corrupt government officials who give themselves $200,000 salaries and benefits for life while denying this to disabled veterans. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the default position of people needs to change. This automatic assumption that someone is a racist or someone's a bigot because you misperceive something, the jumping to conclusions. This is what it is. And the latest incident of this is a game in which Caitlin Clark played, in which she protected an opponent from being hit in the back of the head with a basketball, and then the opponent tried to threaten her. Now, at the end, the opponent found out she was wrong and apologized, but the opponent's default position that Caitlin Clark was causing her grief because she's a racist needs to stop. Bizarre moment, Caitlin Clark wrongly confronted by Kalia Copper after the Fever star stops the ball from hitting the Phoenix rival in the back of the head. Caitlin Clark was looking out for one of her opponents, Kalia Copper, on Sunday when the Fever star stopped a ricocheted ball from hitting her in the back of the head. And here in the photograph, you can see what happened as Caitlin Clark reaches up and blocks that ball from hitting the player in the back of the head. Copper didn't see the gesture and assumed the worst of the rookie's sensation for making a lunge behind her head. The Phoenix Mercury star then proceeded to aggressively walk towards Clark, threatening her in a heated fashion before quickly being cut off by teammate and fellow rival Diana Taurasi. After Copper was filled in on what Clark did for her, she apologized during a free throw. The two women continue joking about the misunderstanding. Caitlin Clark has the patience of Job. She's putting up with bigotry and racism on a daily basis from lesbians and black supremacists who hate the fact that she's the most popular player in the WNBA. Now, this player apologized, but the fact that she is culturally conditioned to assume that Caitlin Clark is a bigot and racist because of something that she did not see really is horrible. We saw this in New York City where a black man just stabbed to death a Dominican immigrant to New York City because he had road rage over someone else throwing something at him, and this gentleman had nothing to do with it. The guy assumed it was him, walked across the street, and stabbed and murdered him. Unbelievable. Assumptions. Jumping to an assumption. Now, this comes on top of other teammates from that disgusting Phoenix team physically assaulting Caitlin Clark on the court repeatedly. This needs to stop. The WNBA is a thugocracy, and it needs to stop. A lot of us are watching the WNBA because Caitlin Clark is an exciting, dynamic player, as is Angel Reese. But Angel Reese is an arrogant asshat, and so she's a lot less appealing. And also, she walks around like a retard wearing a leg, like she's a fashion show. Why are you wearing leggings? It's basketball. You wear shorts. All right, that's the news for today, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Let me see who's in the chat and say hello to them on our Independence Day. Okay, George Steinberg's in from Heckport. Thank you, George. Spiker Hunt says, how is democracy you all vote for going so far? You talking about here? Democracy's going pretty well. I have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, protected from capricious action of the government, although that doesn't apply to everybody, unfortunately. When will the ANC understand that people are getting tired of them? Yeah, they don't. They're arrogant. They think they deserve to rule until Christ comes in the rapture. Charles Van Onselen, the voice of reason. Chris Ehlers, Myra Page, JP Dreckmeyer's here. How's it going? And idioms. Yeah, I think that's right. Monray Sieberts is in. How's it going? ANC now have Mugabe syndrome. They do. They do. And I said they would have that. Yep. And then my body's still trying to adapt to new medications. Erica, how you doing? Good to see you there. Sean Folshank says, it's probably too late, but you should get wheel nuts that has a coating on the inside. They can be hot tip galvanized or chrome, but they... Oh, well, thanks, Sean. It is too late. It's already done. I believe that's what I actually have because the way it was explained to me by the guy who runs the shop there, I think that's what I got. But I had to pay $9 a piece for them. So $160 for, or whatever it was. It was more than that. $9 a piece for 16, yeah. Almost $10 each. Yep. But now my tires can be changed on Sunday. At least I'm not holding my breath, but that's the plan. All right. The result of 30% pass rate. That's correct. South Africa's John Gotti. Are you talking about Kate McKenzie? Gayton does have a lot of money. He's wealthy. Christoph Smuts is here. It says, happy birthday, America. Thank you. Gayton's clever. They cannot fire him now. They'll take the kids' money away. Exactly. If they fire him as a minister, then he'll have to say, well, look, you took money out of the kids. Yep. Monray Siebert says, good God. She didn't say throw. Exactly. Just energy transition is a new term for load shedding. What else we got here? Agenda 2030. Science says, hopefully other ministers will follow Gayton's example and donate their salaries. I wouldn't count on it. English can't be in a country. I don't understand that, Spiker Hunt. Isn't Kenya the country in Africa that has the best ties with America? That's not true, Christoph. Those are recent headlines. That's a fairy tale. The country in Africa that had the best relations with the United States historically has been Botswana, followed by Liberia. But Liberia's had periods of conflict when we've not had good relations with them. But Liberia is historically our closest ally in Africa. Or Botswana. But Eric Masisi has damaged that relationship severely. No, Kenya is not a country we've had strong relationship with. That's what the media is telling you, and you're believing it. Yep. All right. What else we got here? Snow on Table Mountain. I wish I was there. That'd be cool. Hoping for a reform upset in the UK. Well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Yep. State capture agents hoping the wives and parliamentary nepotism. Devette Martins is back. Well, thank you. May you reclaim a republic. We're trying to reclaim a republic, and hopefully we'll do that by this fall. Yep, hoping that's going to happen as the winter comes. Yes, Joe Biden does not speak from a position of strength. You're correct, Debbie. CyberAgs is back. Hey, CyberAgs, been a while. How's it going? And then it is Irish. Biden is Irish. Yep. Kamala Harris is beyond unpopular. I mean, gonorrhea is more popular than her. Largest contingent of volunteers from abroad in our freedom war were Irish. Biden surely not present. Yep. What else we got here? We got Vilma Erasmus. What's this? Okay. I don't see anything from John. What's John Jarvis? I haven't seen anything from John Jarvis here. What else? Whoops. Hey. Well, thank you, Devette. Actually, I'd like to find out if I'm going to check something real quick, see if I can get some steamed crabs today. I don't think I can. I don't think they're open. I'm trying to find the window that has my mail. Which one of these windows has my mail? None of them. I closed the window for mail. That's odd. All right, let's go to the home page. Let me see. That's going to be Grappling. Okay, let's see if I can find them. No, nothing. So they must not have crabs today. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I was hoping for crabs. So much for that. That was my plan. But I guess I'll go without. Shame. I was hungry for crabs. Anyway, yeah. Where are we at here? So back to where we're at. And you say they would each be given a tinfoil wrap sandwich before booking. I don't know what you're talking about. What's the gun problem in New Zealand? What are you talking about, Spike Owen? What gun problem in New Zealand? Yes, even the Democrat normies are revolting. Yes, because they've finally woken up. Mike Tyson would not have any such problems back in the day. Assumptions are bad things. Thankfully, they eventually saw the lighter side of things. Correct. You can't reinstate Kevin. What are you talking about? Has Kevin been deleted? Who is Kevin? Eric, can you tell me who Kevin? What are you talking about? Kevin. Settings. Did something happen here? Community. Okay. Okay. Kevin. I don't see any Kevin blocked on here. There's no Kevin. Adolf Hitler's blocked. A whole bunch of nasty people are blocked on here, but I don't see any Kevin. Nope, there's no Kevin. Blocked. All right. Seeing your hat always reminds me of your first trip. Yeah, and it was this same hat, wasn't it, Debbie? The same hat. Yeah, that was for the Weather Hooligan. Unfortunately, his was stolen. Scumbags in South Africa. A. Moore says, greetings and happy Independence Day. Thank you for that. 248 years. Rugby Ascendant Super Brew pull for the Curry Cup and asking for friend. He's a Bull supporter. You know them Bulls. Nick, do you want me to do the Curry Cup? I joined another pool. I didn't start one. I can start one. I got to do it today, though. Yeah, I can do a Super Brew pull for the Curry Cup. We can do that. Okay. I'll set it up later on. Don't eat us poor cancers. That's funny, Debbie. That's funny. It's the one I talked to, says Vilma. I don't know what you're talking about. Jurgens Rutz. Welcome to you, Jurgens. Pleasure to have you join us there. Assumptions are strange. Yep. Anyway, yeah, so I can set up a Super Brew for that. I didn't know if anybody wanted me to do it. Yes, Gabe McKenzie's running all the way to the bank. No need to rob it. Correct. Correct. He is. From that sea, Rednecks, 1812s. I have no idea what Spiker Hunt is going on about. Courtney McBride says, happy Independence Day. I had to say to you, Courtney, you missed the beginning, Courtney, when we sang the Army song. You missed that, the Army song. There you go. Yes.
Count the brave,
Count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the Army and proud of our name. We're the Army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the Army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the Army goes rolling along. And it's hi, hi, hey, the Army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. 2, 3, 4. Wherever we go, you will always know that the Army goes rolling along. That was for you, Courtney. Kenya has good connections, USA. One of their native-born sons became a president. He was born in Hawaii. Nice try. Apparently, Brandon and Cyril talked about Brandon. Yeah, I know. In 2025 for the G20 summit. I talked about it yesterday more. Rawhide. Yeah, Charles. Okay, Jurgen would like to join the Super Brew. I'll go ahead and get it started then. Okay, let me start it right now while we're chatting here, so we don't forget this. Let me go to Super Brew. Super Brew. Thank you, guys. I didn't know that there was a demand for it, or I would have already created one. Tomorrow it starts. Let me go to captaincies and okay. So wait a second. Tournaments, rugby. Where's Curry Cup? Curry Cup. Okay, I want to start a captaincy. So start a pool. There we go. All right. Reactivate rugby send the one from last year. Okay, cool. All right. Send invitations, create the pool. All right. 19 people were in it last year. Invitations are out. Okay. Invite more players. Let me get the link for that. Okay, here you go. So if you want to join that pool, here you go. Copy. That was so easy to do. We just reactivated last year's pool. Thanks for asking, guys. Where the heck are we at? There we go. That's not what I want, though. I want this. No, that's not what I want. Come on. Get your head in the game, Wyatt. Okay, where the heck is that at? No, that's not it either. Where is my... Somewhere this thing is. There we go. That's what I'm looking for right there. Got it. Got it. Okay, so there you go. All right, if you want to join the pool, there you go, folks. Feel free to join the pool. All right, and I'll go ahead and pin that at the top too. So, oh shoot, pin. Why don't I pin? What's going on here? Pin. There we go. Pin message. All right, so it's pinned. You can join if you want to join that. That's a Curry Cup poll. Now, you're a good man. Of this, I have no doubt. Man, just ask what the flag means to you. What flag means? The American flag? It means an awful lot. I've defended that flag, protected that flag. When people trample on it and burn it, I take offense. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I've stood and put my life on the line for that flag and the Constitution. Yep. So thank you, Devet. Did I answer your question satisfactorily? Gerald Home also calls the DA apartheid party. I don't even know who Gerald Home is. Courtney says, I only listen to Anchors Away. Anchors away, my friend. No, I have not seen a leaked video of Trump trash talking Kamala Harris. It is concerning from a security point of view. Someone is in a circle. Oh yeah, that is very concerning. Yep, unless he approved it. I guess Sir will have to suck up to Don. Can't see Brandon being in the White House. Exactly. Oh, the commie SA flag. Well, what is the current South African flag to me? It means compromise. It means that all the parties in charge of different groups of people came together and reached a compromise. The colors all mean something, and groups in South Africa represented by it. So, all things being equal, it's a better compromise than Bosnia-Herzegovina's flag, which is really lame. Really lame. Houston professor. Oh, that guy. You've talked about him before. Well, he's just an idiot then if he thinks that. Even I take offense to disrespect for our store. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Yep. No, they're not ANC colors. That includes all kinds of colors. Let's just take a look at the South African flag. They're only part of the flag. And they're not just... shoot. They're not just South African flag colors. Those colors are African colors. The ANC's co-opted them. Oh, why do I keep getting the wrong thing here? There we go. South African flag. That's what I'm looking for. So, yeah. So you got the black and yellow and green. That's what you're talking about. The red, white, and blue don't represent the ANC. Not even remotely. Not even remotely. Yeah. So, anyway. There's no orange. That's true. But the blue is in there from the old flag. And the red is in there from the old flag. Yep. So let's see what they say that it represents here. All right. The Y represents, where's that? Hang on a second there. Symbolism. Okay, a synopsis of principal elements. Although different people attribute personal symbolism to individuals, no universal symbolism can be attached to any of the colors. The only symbolism in the flag is the V or Y, which can be interpreted as a convergence of diverse elements within South African society taking the road to unity, which is what I said. The colors of the flag are 4 colors, or 4 kleur. Yep. Expanded by the addition of black and gold, signifying South Africa's mineral wealth. 3 of the colors, black, green, and gold, are found in the flag of the ANC. The other 3, red, white, and blue, are used in the modern flag of the Netherlands and the flag of the United Kingdom, the flag of the United States. And the colors white and blue were found in the old flag of South Africa. So there was a compromise. Compromise. That's what it means to me. Navy Sunday toast to wives and sweethearts. May they never meet. Exactly. Donald Trump's wearing a 47 t-shirt. He's being very presumptuous. So, he's a politician. What do you expect? Alan prefers the old flag. I'm sure a lot of people do. Yep. The Irish one is also encouraging its troopers. It's a long way to Tipperary. Yeah. Anyway, so folks, it's the 4th of July and the audience has thinned out considerably. What's going on here? Thinned out a bit here. So you're welcome, Jurgens. I hope that people sign up for it. Let me see how many people sign up for that already. Let me go. I see if I have to approve anything real quick. Where is my Super Brew? There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. All right. 4 of us aren't in here. Jurgens is waiting approval. So, okay. Let me get to the approval thing. So, where's my approval? I hate this. Manage pool. There you go. It's not the easiest to find here. Applicants. There you go. And you are approved. You are a member. 1 minute after you applied. Look at that. That's timely, man. So we now already have 4 people, Chris, Marie, Nick, Jurgens, and the Colonel. We're all in here. Good luck to all of you, and hopefully other people will join. Curry Cup's going to be interesting this year because who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be something else, to say the very least. Anyway, yep, we'll see what happens with the Curry Cup. All right, so 4 people in it already. Cool beans. Pantheonist flags are a waste of good polyester. It's only a piece of material at the end of year's day. They all mean squat, but that's just my opinion. Well, Amor, I don't know. Have you ever served under a flag? Have you ever been in battle? You may have. I don't know. Flags are a rallying symbol. They're used to signal. They're used to coordinate activities. They have a very important function. Devet says, I'll never tell someone to take down the new flag. I only ask what this flag means to them. There you go. Just ignore it. Okay. Second Boer War is nothing like the American Civil War. Well, certainly not in the number of casualties. Jacques says, what's your opinion on Oklahoma bringing back the Bible in the classroom, teach from it? I'm not entirely familiar with that decision. I did see the news on it, but I'm going to have to, I think it's going to be something I have to take a closer look at. There's no problem whatsoever with, allowing prayer in school. There's no problem whatsoever with religious accommodations. No problem whatsoever with introducing or having elements of Judeo-Christian doctrine in schools. There's none whatsoever. There's no such thing as separation of church and state. That's a fiction. It's a pure fiction fabricated by leftists who hate faith. Electric fence. The Mealy Fields yellow equals electric fence. That's funny. Giuseppe Garibaldi's back. Hey, is this our proposed... What? I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy. GNU flag. I don't think there's a GNU flag. Tell Matt about the rugby new Subaru. Oh, yeah. And is Matt Canali here? Yeah. Please check it out. Anyway. Hey, Brett Sessom says hit the like button. Yeah, Brett. How you doing, Brett? I mean, I haven't really kept up on what you're up to lately. You've been busy. So what are you up to, man? Anyway. Yeah, 79 likes. This is things are tailing off this week. What's going on here? What is going on? Anyway. Let me see. Boy, that Helen Zilla one's taken off all of a sudden. I just put... Okay, what the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? Stupid. Leave the page. Yes, there are no changes to this page. Oh my goodness. YouTube. Acting up. Let me see. There we go. Well, it's not great. 815 views, but it's something. That's just in a couple hours. Actually, is it a couple hours? When did I post that? I posted that 2 hours ago. Okay. The other one I did earlier today, Panyazi the Sufi's Doomed Cabinet. That's at 2,300. Okay, cool beans. Yeah. So my prepared videos are getting a little bit of traction, and the live streams were getting traction, but yesterday began to slow down. Today it slowed down even more. Maybe Americans aren't watching today. Anyway, what do you guys think of the banner? The banner that I put pictures from different stages of my career. Gary Wild's back. Welcome, Gary. Oh, you work corrections. Oh, gosh. We should link you up with Peter Hernevald. He's in charge of corrections in South Africa now. The old flag existed from 1910. All that history prior to apartheid has been pushed aside because of it and labeled as the same. Yep. The Bible has some terrible things in it. Infanticide, misogyny, ethnic cleansing, not good to teach it to young people. Well, I disagree with you, Courtney. The Bible has some amazing things in it. Teach respect and tolerance and love. So there are some great things in the Bible. You just don't teach the bad things. Pretty simple. Nothing's perfect. A. Morris says 88 to 92 South African Navy. Okay, well, okay. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. In terms of scale and importance, the American Civil War is far greater if you take proportionality into context of the male. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Proportionality is a good point to make there, Devet Martens. The United States had 5 million people in the South and, 16 million people in the North, something like that. Yeah, and you had just 90,000 population in the Transvaal. Yep. Yep. Debbie, love the intro and opening banner for your career. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Cool beans. The old flag was designed to promote Afrikaner-Brit reconciliation. That is correct. You are correct. That was the old flag. Vier kleur. That was the intent of that. That's 100% correct. And it still hasn't occurred in many respects. There's still English and Afrikaner who cannot reconcile. Yep. Erica loves the banner. Thank you. There's a picture of me, let me see, in the Wadi Al Batin in February of 1991. And then there's a photograph of me giving a speech at a graduation at the Camp Sandy Ware, the VOA retransmission site in Carysburg, Liberia, in my dress uniform. And then there's a picture of me in my dress blues as a sergeant back in the 1980s in Bad Kreuznach, Germany, where I was in the 8th Infantry Division. So, yep. Sean says, can do with the new flag. What color would you get if you mix ANC snot green yellow? DA white guilt tears blue. Poor Ford South African, quite the knock-on effect due to unions' dominant effect for many. That's a shame. Have you ever seen? Yes, I have seen the movie Gettysburg. It's a really good movie. The Boers did not secede. They had their own countries. What are you talking about? They formed their own countries. Anonymous Lex is back. May the 4th be with you. Thank you for that. Did not appreciate the old flag because of the colonial connection, says Amor. Many, like Louis Botha and Jan Smuts, tried. Many Afrikaner World War I vets risk being disowned by their families. Yep, that's true. What role did South African Navy play in the Bush War? Well, actually played a bigger role than you realize, Courtney McBride. The South African Navy's Daphne-class submarines played a key role in depositing special operators like Vena du Toit into enemy space. The South African Navy put commandos into Tanzania. They put them into Angola. Yeah, they played a role, and they did other things as well. Transported resources around. Yep, there you go. All right, folks. It's the 4th of July, 248 years. Now, I did want to read this at the beginning. I didn't do it, so this is not my comments. I'm reading this from the editors of the National Review. There's some humor in this, so stick with me, okay? The title of their op-ed piece for today is Our Empire of Liberty at 248. America is the closest thing to a classless society that has ever existed insofar as we have no landed titles, no nobility, no immutable family fortunes, and no impermeable social strata. In America, men and women may go as far as their courage and talents will take them. Being born an American is today and always to win the lottery of life. We are still the nation of Elvis, Mark Twain, and the rhetorical brilliance, I have a dream. Americans are still the people that produced giants such as Willie Mays, Thomas Edison, and Harriet Tubman. Americans are still the people of Joshua Chamberlain's fix bayonets charge at Little Round Top and John Paul Jones' I have not yet begun to fight defiance and General Anthony McAuliffe's sending back to the one-word reply, nuts, to the Wehrmacht's demand that the surrounded 101st Airborne Division surrender at Bastogne. Americans successfully defeated communism and Nazism and the metric system. We take inedible foreign cuisines and make them taste good. We invented airplanes and the internet and tater tots. Almost as an afterthought, we've spent 31 years keeping Canada from winning the Stanley Cup. And when we feel like it, we make time to defeat Pakistan in the Cricket World Cup. America is planting the stars and stripes on the moon 6 times. America is Adrian Peterson lining up in the I formation and blasting Texas for 225 yards in the Cotton Bowl. America is ice water and free refills at restaurants and rock and roll and blue jeans and the A-10 Thunderbolt. America is Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line on a transistor radio and barbecue brisket on Friday night lights. America is Yosemite's El Capitan and Montana's skies and Central Park at Christmas time. There are many things that are falling short of an acceptable standard in the America of 2024. This is the 248th year of our independence from the rule of the House of Hanover. Our national finances are a mess. The press, the political class, and both major parties have proved to be sclerotic, venal, and short-sighted. But America remains a fertile seedbed for renewal, and the citizenry still retain their boundless capacity for surprise and reform and rejuvenation. Already, in small and disparate ways, Americans are turning to the usually quiet and under-the-radar work of restoration. Americans do this work, and they do it from the bottom up, because they are a free people. And they are a free people because they are Americans living under our Constitution. No one thought it would last this long. No one thought we could govern ourselves on our own without the benefit of noblesse oblige to guide us. But we have. For 248 years, the United States of America has pressed on, building an empire on liberty and on our continent. We ain't perfect. We are every day building a more perfect union. A union that, in Reagan's words, is still a beacon, still a magnet for all who must have freedom, for all the pilgrims from all the lost places who are hurtling through darkness toward home. That from the National Review. Excellent op-ed. I cut some of it out for brevity. Yep. Yep, submarines and strike craft drop Special Force by enemy lines. Correct. Yep, it's my mom's birthday today. She would have been 84, Fleshing. Oh, well, okay, would have been, so she's passed. Thoughts to your mom there. Sue Walsh, you're very late. Shame, 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 shame. I love this poem. USA was the talk of the T20 Cricket World Cup. Yeah, it was. Well, it's not a poem. It's an op-ed. No stress if you feel not to respond. I trust one. I did respond to that. Did you ask another question that I missed? Interested in what you personally feel about the new Southern flags that will help me understand myself. Well, I already said that. I said that it's a compromise. That's how I feel. It's a compromise. I don't have any love or hate or disdain or any ties to it. It's a flag. It's actually an attractive flag. So I don't have a beef with it one way or the other. Anonymous Lex says America also gave birth to the greatest bands. Yeah, we have. Well, the United Kingdom England has given us a tough run for that too. They've had some great bands too. Devet says nothing is perfect. United States, America surely has come the closest. Well, thank you for that, Devet Martens, for that recognition. We are not perfect, but we've come closer than anyone else has. Yep. Sean says, God bless the United States. May your country's greatness be restored, including its position as leader of the free world. Well, thank you very much for that. We do appreciate that. We definitely want to restore ourselves and our role in the world that's been compromised by Biden and the Democrats. Yep. And by, of course, Barack Hussein Obama. Brett says, proud of America. One thing I would like about being South Africa, be proud of American. There, people looked at you like you were crazy if you were embarrassed by America. Exactly. Look, I mean, living in Liberia, living in Botswana, living in Uganda, living in Ethiopia, these are places where it was perfectly fine for me to be in uniform and proud to be an American, and people thought anything negative or derogatory of America was just backcrap crazy. Yep. Those tater tots are a crime against humanity. On that one, Fleshin, we will agree. I don't think tater tots are a great contribution to humankind. They definitely are not. I wonder if USA will be celebrating independence this weekend. We'll be celebrating it today. And people are off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a long weekend for a lot of people. It's a time that you don't really want to be on the road. That's one reason why I wanted the tires on my car before the weekend. But it'll be Sunday. It's not far for me to go. And it'll be daylight, so I'll be fine. Anonymous Lex says there's nothing wrong with the metric system. It was a joke, Anonymous Lex, made by the National Review editors because we're one of only 2 countries around the world, to my knowledge, that still uses the standard American equivalent or the British system. Yeah, so yes, Will Smith will be fighting aliens on many DVDs and Blu-rays today. Francois Fundevestizen said Biden thought it was Guy Fawkes Day. Is it Guy Fawkes Day? Oh my goodness. I had to restart my one of the reasons why I was 3 minutes late was because I was ready at 12 o'clock, but this software wouldn't work. It wouldn't connect. I had to close it 3 times and reset some things. And every time I did that, I had to reopen some things. So let me see if this worked. It's probably going to jump because something's wrong with this software. It never works properly anymore. I've got to open things up. So yeah, there you go. It worked that time. So so Biden thought it was Guy Fawkes Day. That's funny. Oh my goodness. But we also use metrics in America, especially in science and also in the military. Courtney has a pre-94 flag. It looks sharp and there's nothing racist. No, there isn't. But that's people get away with that nonsense. All right. Tater tots. The National Review article, I think I got rid of it. I don't think it's open anymore. No, I closed it. Shoot. National Review. Let me see if I can find it. Let me go back. I didn't keep it. Let me see. There it is. Our Empire of Liberty. Sure, I'll give it. There it is. Found it. Copy. Our Empire of Liberty. There you go. Our Empire of Liberty. Hopefully that's helpful. Keep getting these freaking spam things from Canada. I mean, don't stop coming. Trying to tell me I haven't paid my cable bill. Trust me, I paid it. Napoleon is responsible for the metric system. That's true, I believe. Beatles, not my... I don't like the Beatles now. Nope, nope, nope. Debbie says, your mom must have been so proud. Yeah, she was, Debbie. She really was. When I went to the first conflict, the first time I was in combat in the Gulf War, oh, man, she turned into a whole thing. She became kind of minor celebrity in Ohio because of the poems she wrote and all the yellow ribbons and all that stuff. Yeah, Pink Floyd is British, yeah. She was pretty well known for it. So, yeah, no, my mother was proud. And so was my father. But, I mean, it's... yeah, but Mom was especially proud. But that didn't really necessarily help me well because my siblings, they felt aggrieved because they weren't being promoted. I had nothing to do with it. What did Vilma say? I'm most of the looking... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Vilma's usually here. Yes, it's possible to buy a pre-flag. I've said that before. My cousin has a shop called CRW Flags. Okay, CRW Flags. In Glen Burnie, Maryland. My cousin runs that store, so I'll give you the link to that. And you can find... If the flag exists, they'll get it for you. Trust me. My cousin will get it for you. So I don't know what the shipping is these days, but CRW Flags is the place to go. And they've got all kinds of things. They've got commander's coins. They've got pins, lapel pins. They've got, things you hang out in your yard, all kinds of things. But flags is their big thing. My father started that business. Yep. South Africa versus Ireland. Hey, Hendo. Yep. Got 5 tomorrow, folks. Tomorrow's news is going to be a little bit off because I'm busy doing rugby, so it'll be a late broadcast if I do the news tomorrow. I've got 2 rugby games in the morning. I've got the Griquas versus the Pumas. And then I've got the Sharks versus the Lions. And then in the evening, it's USA versus Romania from Chicago. Yeah, well, thank you for that picture of my mom and I. Yeah, I got the year wrong on that. I was thinking it was recent because I was looking at my gray hair. I didn't have that gray hair till later, but I was wearing a wristwatch, so it had to be earlier. So something's odd there. Yep, it sure was. How can I rejoin the Wyatt Army WhatsApp chat? Can someone post a link? Hendo can give you a link to it. How many U.S. politicians in the Senate and the House served in the military? Not many, Devet. I don't know the total number. It's not many. It's a rising number because of Iraq and Afghanistan. The number's gone back up. But for years, it was the majority of people because it was mostly men in Congress, and most men had served in World War II or Vietnam. And so all the way up to the 1980s, most people in Congress were military. But since then, that bond has been weakened. Hurtgen Forest. Oh, yes. 8th Infantry Division fought in the Hurtgen Forest. I know that. That was a tough battle. Yep, the Germans held on tight there. So, yep. Yeah, I don't know the current number. That's an interesting question, though. 86 likes. We're not even going to get to 100 likes today. That kind of sucks. Wow. Yesterday, we only got 500 views. Today, we got 394. So what's going on? Are people losing interest because I'm no longer in South Africa? Or is there shadow banning going on? What's going on? I don't know. Anyway, but then, of course, the banner for today isn't about the news. It's talking about our Independence Day. So maybe that's part of what's going on. There's the tour group and the insiders group from Hendo. Thank you for that. Don't worry about Erica. Hendo took care of it. Yeah, we got the one I haven't done yet is the cheetahs. Let me see if that banner is finally posted for me. So I get my feed from Flow Rugby, whom I pay actually a reasonable price to have this. So I'll make a schedule here. Griquas versus Pumas. Hang on a second. USA versus Romania. That's not the one I'm looking for. Schedule tomorrow is the 5th, and I'm looking for... Oh, they don't have the cheetahs on here. What happened? Huh. Oh, the cheetahs are on Saturday. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, that's why. I still don't have the banner. So the Cheetahs are on Saturday at 7. I'll be covering the Cheetahs versus Griffins, but I'm going to have to make up a banner because I can't find one that matches it. So anyway. I ever wear the Army mess uniform? Yeah, I wear it all the time. Yeah. Oh, no, you mean the white mess uniform? No, I never bought that. That's for generals. It's not for me. Yep. The mess blues I had, but we have Army white mess too. Yep. Let me see if we can find a picture of that U.S. Army white mess dress uniform. There we go. Yep, there you go. U.S. Army white mess dress. I've never worn it. Well, that's not the U.S. Army. What the hell are you talking about there? Oh, boy. Where's that picture at? Yeah, it's just like the blue uniform, except it's white. There's not really any difference. So here you go. There it is right there. Yep. So I have the blue one. I've worn the blue one many times. Yep. In fact, there's a picture of me in Liberia. Where's that one? Hang on a second. I'll find that. Actually, I've got that here because I just moved it yesterday to another spot. Documents. What the heck was it called? I said desktop. Miscellaneous. There we go. Extra large. Let me find that. Come on. I know that picture was there. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It's in here. Yeah, so there's me and my mess. Well, here's a couple of me in my mess blues. So this is with the Defense Minister of Liberia, Brownie Samakai. There I am. There's my mess blues right there. I was Lieutenant Colonel at the time. You can see the miniature medals and my air assault badge on, bow tie, cummerbund, puffy shirt. Yep. That's actually a pretty good photo. I like that one. Look how skinny I am. Pants are barely hanging on me there. So that was that's mess blues. And then here's another picture of me with my mess blues. This is a couple years later. This one is in Ethiopia at the American Embassy. You can see that I'm still skinny as all get out there. Stuff hanging off me there. So that's the mess blues. That's with, where's this guy from? Russian or Paraguayan? I don't know where he's from. Somewhere. Anyway, that was at the Marine 4th of July. That's in Addis Ababa. So yeah, so that's that. And then comparing that to the dress blues, Courtney, this is a picture of me in my dress blues, which it's just the jacket there. So this is in Ethiopia as well. And this is with the U.S. Ambassador and my colleague, who was the attaché. I was at the U.S. mission in the African Union. That's in Ethiopia. That's in 2015, I think it was. So 10 years ago. So you can see the difference between the mess blues and the dress blues. So, yep. And let me see if there's anything else in that stack I want to show you from that. And then this, of course, was me just before I retired. This is at the Army War College, and that's wearing the dress blues, which is no longer the dress uniform. Now it's stupid brown. Looks like someone took a dump on you. This is much better looking than the dress blues. Yep. So, yep. Standing in front of Botswana's flag and Burkina Faso. Mess blues looking very spiffy. Yes, they did. Thoughts on Lafayette Escradelle? Thank you for the super chat, Brett. Yeah, thank you. There's been no money coming in. It's the 4th of July, and we've got no revenue this month. It's crazy. Yeah, thank you for that. Debbie says distinguished uniform is very smart. Thank you for that. Might have a shave again in the future. Yeah, I will be shaving. Brett, Devet. Yep. Why so many badges and such? Are you serious, Grasshopper? I have dozens of military decorations for all sorts of things, for participation in combat campaigns, also for merit and achievement over and over again. Plus, I have unit awards. I was assigned to units several times when they were given presidential citations, including the National Security Agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the U.S. Africa Command, all of which I received awards. And I've been decorated by the government of Germany, or the state of Hesse in Germany, and also by the Republic of Liberia as well as Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Well, thank you, Debbie. Very kind of you. Yeah, the Lafayette Escadrille was the aviation unit, the Americans who fought for France in the First World War. I thought it was pretty impressive. I actually got us some experience in aviation that we weren't getting because we hadn't entered a conflict before that. So, yeah, good stuff. Thank you for the super chat. Why so many badges? Well, I mean, look, Grasshopper, I've covered this before. I don't do it very often because it's just not my cup of tea. But I mean, I enjoy doing it. People ask me to do it, so I've done it occasionally, in which I've gone through and went through different decorations and awards I've received. They're in a box downstairs for the most part. But yeah, there's. Let me see if I can find my medals thing somewhere. Yeah, that's what I just said, Brett. They fought for France before the U.S. entered the war, so we got valuable pilot experience before we even entered the conflict. Well, it is a distinguished beard, and I get compliments on it all the time. But I am looking older than my age, and getting notice that. No, you're welcome to find it interesting, Grasshopper. I mean, I don't take offense. I have no problems with people asking, "What's that?" There's Brett's super chat finally came through in the software. No, I just. Let me see. I don't think I have it here. Awards. Let me see. I'm looking to see if I've got. Come on. Yeah. Well, I know one place where it might be. Let me see. My biography might have it. So it's going to be where? Here. Post-employment, biography, long version. Let me see if it's on there. Yeah, so I've got some in here, so I can read this to you. So, okay, so for instance, I have the Distinguished Service Order Gold from the Republic of Liberia, awarded in February 2022. Meritorious Honor Award from the United States Department of State, April 2014, for evacuating Americans from South Sudan. Presidential Daily Brief Author Recognition, 4 times I was awarded, even though I produced 9 products. I was awarded that from the Office of Director of National Intelligence in November 2005, March 2006, October 2006, and February 2007. Received the Director's Annual Agency Team Award for the Defense Intelligence Agency in November of 2006. The State of Hesse President's Community Contribution Award 1994 from Germany. Distinguished Military Graduate, ROTC 1989, United States Army. So military decorations, these are not military specific. Military, let's see. I'm going through 14 pages here. So I have the Legion of Merit, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal with 6 decorations, the Meritorious Service Medal from the Army, 2 decorations, Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, 8 decorations, Joint Service Achievement Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, 4 decorations, the Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, twice, the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Southwest Asia Service Medal with 3 stars, the Kosovo Campaign Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Armed Forces Services Medal, the Army Service Medal, the Overseas Ribbon with 10 numeral on it, the NATO Medal for Bosnia, the Saudi Arabian Kuwait Liberation Medal, the Kuwaiti Liberation Medal, the Air Assault Badge, the Joint Meritorious Unit Award with the National Security Agency, with Defense Intelligence Agency and U.S. Africa Command, and the Valorous Unit Award for 3rd Battalion, 8th Cavalry during the Gulf War. So that's what those decorations are, and I think that covers most of them. Yep, serving the United States Navy has been one of the greatest honors, even the worst day in uniform. I never once regretted it. Yeah, same here, Courtney. I never regretted being in the Army. Yep. Smee says, what's this? Brett just gave another $2 super chat. It says, movie Flyboy is a good movie about them. Okay, all about the Lafayette Escadrille. Thank you for that. Herman Goering had a huge vintage plane collection. I don't doubt it. Paulie's saying, without the beard, I'll look so much better. Old sad steps out to Malawi Gardner to attend the daughter's wedding. He looked great. I have no idea what you're talking about that. It was named after, Marquise de Lafayette. That's correct. Smee says, all I ever got for 2 years of torture in the old setup was a badge for 4 months or more service at the Angolan border, drinking beer and eating rat bags. Sorry to hear that, Smee. Sorry to hear that. Devet says, Colonel, I'm grateful that you, with your experience and honors, has love for a little corner. Well, yeah, but I take all kinds of abuse. I mean, it's unbelievable abuse that I get. It's comical. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's racist. It's bigotry of the highest order. I get attacked by white racist and black racist all the time, and just people who have the common sense of piss ants that can't think things through. Argentina under 20s killing the Springboks. Oh, my goodness, after they beat Fiji so badly. Wow. Time for dinner. All right, well, I think it's time to go, folks. It's been an hour and a half. It's about that time. Let me close that mail off there real quick. I don't need that window. I don't need this. I don't need that. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Be sure to hit the like button. We didn't get 100 likes. We did get $4 of super chat revenue from Brett. Thank you for that. Yep. Oh, and there's Erica with 140 saying, please don't shave the beard. Well, I think you're in direct conflict with Paulie. So you guys are going to have to duke it out. You're both in the Cape Town area now, so you can meet and duke it out. My recommendation is that Paulie and Erica both go to the Kapstadt Brauhaus, located at Blaubergstrand, and just duke it out. Okay, folks. 9 more likes. Can we just get a few more of you to hit that like button? Okay. Aircraft carriers is probably worth more than the entire South. That's true. Oh, yeah. Those are nuclear-powered carriers. Those things have 15,000 personnel on them. They are cities in their own right. And that's it. Happy 4th of July to all my brethren out there. Video about Smith Island, Chesapeake Bay. Oh, yeah, Smith Island. Those people speak a different language. Yep, that's an interesting story. They've been there for a long time, 300-400 years. So, yep, Smith Island. That whole there's a whole bunch of people. There's little communities down there. Flesh and interesting that you found that. So, cool beans. All right. I'm just trying to close something out here. Sorry. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you later on.